Seth Rollins makes Sami Zayn suffer. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. In the chaotic world of WWE, pain and betrayal go hand in hand. But what happens when the pain becomes personal, when revenge fuels every action, and when suffering isn't just inflicted, it's orchestrated? This is the story of how Seth Rollins made Sami Zayn suffer, mentally, emotionally, and physically, in one of the most vicious feuds WWE has ever seen. The turning point. It started with an offer. Monday Night Raw. The lights were dimmed, the audience buzzing. Seth Rollins walked down the ramp with a grin. Not his usual flamboyant, over-the-top showmanship, but something darker. He had Paul Heyman by his side and Bron Breakker behind him like a loaded gun waiting to explode. Rollins stood in the ring and made a stunning offer to Sami Zayn. Join the movement. Step into the future of WWE, or be left behind. Sami Zayn, always the rebel, always the independent spirit, looked Seth Rollins dead in the eyes and said, "I don't sell my soul." Those words didn't just reject Rollins. They insulted him. To Seth, this wasn't just a refusal, it was humiliation. And that's when everything changed. What followed wasn't a typical rivalry. It wasn't just a grudge. It was a campaign, a strategy, a mission. Rollins didn't just want to beat Zayn, he wanted to break him. The first blow. That same night, Sami Zayn had a scheduled match against Bronson Reed. It was supposed to be just another bout. But Rollins had other plans. As Zayn made his entrance, he was ambushed backstage. A steel chair cracked against his spine, courtesy of Bron Breakker. The camera cut to Rollins laughing maniacally nearby, casually watching as Zayn writhed in pain on the floor. Later that night, a bloodied and bruised Zayn still limped his way to the ring. He refused medical attention. He didn't care about the pain. He cared about the message. He got in the ring and fought. He lost, but he fought. And Rollins noticed that. He hated that. So the next week, it got worse. The breakdown. In the weeks that followed, Sami Zayn found himself constantly attacked. During matches, backstage interviews, even during his entrances. It wasn't random. It was organized. Premeditated. Precision warfare. Bron Breakker would pounce like a lion. Paul Heyman whispered instructions. And Seth Rollins? He watched it all unfold like a conductor in an orchestra of suffering. Sami Zayn was left battered. His wins became rare. His confidence started to crack. Backstage interviews showed a different Zayn, one who struggled to find words, one who flinched when someone entered the room. He had trust issues. Rightfully so. Rollins wasn't just hurting Sami. He was isolating him. And then came the match that would haunt Zayn forever. The Slaughter in St. Louis. Raw in St. Louis. Sami Zayn versus Bron Breakker. The stipulation. If Zayn won, he'd get a match with Seth Rollins at Backlash. If he lost, he'd be suspended for 30 days. The match started off with fire. Zayn threw everything he had at Breakker. Elbows, dives, and heart. So much heart. But Rollins appeared at ringside. Laughing. Mocking. And then, the steel chair. With the referee distracted, Rollins slid the chair to Breakker. One thunderous shot later, and Zayn was down. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn was suspended. Backstage, Rollins held a press conference, not to discuss strategy, but to mock Sami. He had his chance. He chose suffering. Now, he'll learn what that truly means. Zayn disappeared from WWE for 30 days. But his suffering didn't end there. The psychological warfare. During Zayn's absence, Rollins flooded WWE programming with propaganda. Every week, a new vignette aired, footage of Zayn losing, crying, breaking. Over it, Rollins narrated, "This is what happens when you defy me. This is what pain looks like." The vignettes became darker, footage from Zayn's early career, his past failures, his personal life. Rollins attacked his legacy, his value, his identity. Even Kevin Owens spoke up, telling WWE.com, "This is sick. This isn't wrestling. This is personal abuse." Rollins laughed. "Exactly," he said. By the time Zayn returned, he wasn't the same. He was gaunt, distracted, quieter. But his eyes told the story. They burned with rage. And with that fire came a promise. The return. Sami Zayn returned to Raw unannounced. The crowd erupted. He ran through the audience, hopped the barricade, and stormed the ring mid-match, attacking Bron Breakker with a kendo stick like a man possessed. Rollins appeared on the stage, clapping. Calm. Calculated. Zayn grabbed a mic and said, "I don't want to wrestle you, Seth. I want to hurt you. I want to see fear in your eyes." That was the spark. Triple H booked the match. Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn. No disqualifications. No interference. No mercy. Rollins accepted, but with a grin. "You still think this is your redemption story," he said. "But it's your funeral." The bloodbath at Backlash. Backlash. Main event. Sami Zayn walked to the ring with scars on his back, a steel chair in hand, and vengeance in his heart. Rollins walked out in a white suit, mocking Zayn once again. A pristine suit for what he called Sami's burial. The bell rang, and all hell broke loose. Steel chairs, tables, kendo sticks. Zayn's rage was pure, unfiltered. He finally got Rollins alone, and he was making him pay. Rollins bled early. He smiled through it. He whispered to Zayn, "You're just like me." But Zayn shook his head. "No, I'm still human." The fight lasted 32 minutes. They fought into the crowd, onto the stage, even backstage momentarily. The climax came when Zayn powerbombed Rollins through a flaming table set up near the ramp. Rollins screamed in agony. But before Zayn could pin him, Paul Heyman appeared with Breaker. Interference. Chaos. A curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. Rollins won. Zayn lost again. And the suffering wasn't over. The aftershock. In the aftermath, WWE's medical team tended to both men. Zayn was stretchered out. Rollins walked, barely. Backstage, Rollins declared himself the pain architect, claiming that Sami Zayn had just become a martyr for nothing. But while the physical scars would heal, the psychological wounds were deep. The next night on Raw, Zayn didn't appear. For the first time, there was silence from his camp. Rollins celebrated with Heyman and Breaker. Champagne, balloons, victory. But in the shadows, Zayn watched, waiting. Because this wasn't over. The final message. The final chapter is still unwritten. Rollins believes he's made Sami Zayn suffer. And in many ways, he has. He's broken his body. He's attacked his legacy. He's humiliated him publicly. But what Seth Rollins doesn't realize is that every drop of suffering has made Sami more dangerous, more unpredictable. He's no longer fighting for pride. He's fighting for revenge. And revenge has no deadline. This was the story of Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. A tale of pain, manipulation, and survival. In WWE, victories are temporary. But suffering? That lasts forever. Stay tuned, because in this war, no one walks away whole. And for Seth Rollins, his moment of reckoning may be closer than he thinks.